What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Ocho. It is, we're December. It's December 6th,
Jesus Christ, that is December.
2023. Hard to believe, but we're here. Hey, we picked a great day to come on air. I am Armchair. My call is Dubs. We're going to start off with the lead. Juan Soto's a New York Yankee. Maybe.
It'd be really fun to see it fall through.
There's a lot. So first off, let's go over the trade. It's Juan Soto and Trent Grisham, another outfielder who's good, not great. He's good.
Goodish.
Yeah. For Michael King, that's a steep price.
Yeah.
Drew Thorpe, also a reasonably steep price. I think he's their number 2 pitching prospect.
He's up there.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think it's 2.
Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, and Kyle Higashioka. I butchered that, and that's okay.
And they just gave up Dick Fitz.
But we'll get to
that.
Yeah. It's interesting that the Yankees, to me, and we talked about this a little bit off air, it's interesting that the Yankees did this knowing that the Shohei Ohtani news is coming down allegedly before the end of the weekend. That's from his camp. Shohei has met with the people he's met with. He's going to do what he wants to do.
It'll be Sunday night.
Probably. The Yankees are afraid of what's to come. They don't like the prospect of Toronto potentially being one of the suitors of Ohtani. Whether he is or he isn't is irrelevant. But the threat of Ohtani potentially signing anywhere near the AL East, and I think this would be the same if the Red Sox were in the mix, and the Red Sox are sort of in the mix for, is it Yamamoto that they're kind of playing, or they're hoping?
Supposedly that's like our top target, but
we will see.
Yeah, my hopes are dwindling by the day.
It'll be crazy to see how this plays out. But the Yankees said, you know what? A week ago, this deal was LOL'd at. They put the kibosh on it. They said, "Nah, we're not going to do 7 players. Too much." And now it's like, well, no, maybe we can.
Why would they do that?
To me, it's a precautionary, let me strike first move. Big if it goes through for the Yankees, because Soto's going to rake in New York.
And now that I feel like this absolutely guarantees that Glaber gets moved too, because they need some form of pitching.
They've gotten rid of a whole bunch of guys, and I guess that brings us to I think the floodgates are about to open when it comes to the MLB offseason. And usually we lead with a bunch of hockey stuff, but to be honest, this is what we've been waiting for. Today, Adam Simber signed with the Angels. He's a pretty solid reliever. I like Adam Simber because he drops way down, and he's like a submariner.
Yeah.
So he gets down at the way down arm angle and just lets her rip. That's always fun.
Growing up playing baseball, I was always super scared to play those those pitchers because they're always inaccurate as fuck. They have no reason to be throwing like that when you're fucking 12,
and you can't
13.
And you can't figure out where it's going. You have no idea where it's coming from.
No clue.
Craig Kimbrell signed with the Orioles. Matt Koch signed a minor league contract. I just like saying his name.
Matt Koch.
And the big one was the trade your Red Sox were involved with. Alex Verdugo to the Spankies for Dick Fitz, Greg Weissert, and Nicholas Judas.
So we clearly won this because we acquired Dick Fitz, which is essentially we finally 100 plus years later we got one back over for them for Babe Ruth. But
I love
Dick Fitz officially a Red Sox. Can't wait.
I can't wait for you to get your Fitz jersey.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, Dick Fitz. But the shout out Kevin. He got a headshot in the Discord last night.
He didn't realize it was coming.
I was sitting there waiting for somebody to take the bait, and then I was gonna do it again today because somebody missed it, and I was like, just go back.
Just go check it out. Just go check it out.
Which, by the way, for you at home, drinking game tonight, every time I have to grab a tissue, You go ahead and take a drink, hit whatever form of inebriation you prefer on a weeknight. But yeah, this is a flu game.
Poor Dubs under the weather, so we're trying to power through.
I feel like I got backed over by a garbage truck.
It's not good. The Mets have also met with Yamamoto in Japan.
Yeah, Cohen took his ass to Tokyo.
Yeah, well, that's what Cohen does. That's his game.
Go flash the money a little bit.
I want to talk a little Ohtani for a second because obviously that is the huge new. Although we should, I guess, touch on Jarred Kelenic to the Braves.
Yeah, that kind of surprised.
It was a little surprising to me because I thought that he was one of their young and like
building blocks.
Yeah, and the Braves are like, we want that guy, and yet again, Alex Anthopoulos working some magic, and here he goes. That Bravos team is muy
so
stacked.
Good.
They're super stacked. I don't know why Ohtani would want to sign with the Dodgers when the Braves are the team there. You want to sign with the Braves. That's who you want to sign with.
Right. Yeah,
so,
I would agree with that.
Ohtani is the story of the moment, of the year, of the century. Two-way phenom. Won't be pitching this year, but will be pitching next year. It's basically down to two teams, although I posted in the Discord that the first time Ohtani signed, it was down to like 5 or 6 teams.
Hook, line, and sinker again, too.
And not one of them is the team that he went to. Not one of them. It was like the Cubs and the Dodgers and the Mariners. Toronto had conversations, but it was a long shot. Boston and New York were in on it. Everybody was courting this guy. And then all of a sudden he was like, I'll take the Angels. And we were like, are you sure? Are you sure? And then he did.
You actually want to do that?
And then he didn't mean to. And this is where we are. So now we're down to what most believe are two teams. And you want to talk about a guy who said, hey, don't leak the information about this. Keep everything on the down low. And then Dave Roberts comes out and he's like, we had a meeting with Ohtani. It was great.
It was awesome. Everybody loved it.
And the GM's like, I can't
shut the fuck up.
He's like, I don't know why Dave would say that. Dave,
you dummy.
What are you doing, Dave?
Just another nail in the coffin for Dave Roberts.
It'll be so I'm ready to have my heart broken if he doesn't sign. I'm really hoping that like he does, so I can be totally insufferable. And if he doesn't sign and we don't get Soto either, it's going to be a pretty tough offseason for Toronto because those are the two big fish. If you go big game hunting and you miss both, you can appreciate it, but it doesn't help the roster for next season, and that's a problem. Also, shout out to everyone who forgot how good the Blue Jays rotation was and that they have Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette and George Springer as if those guys aren't any good. Everybody's like, Toronto's not any good. Pardon?
Are you sure about that?
Playoff team?
That was one of my favorite Buffalo. I mean, Jesus Christ, Buffalo. I'm fucking all over the place. The Blue Jays were one of my favorite teams going into last year, and I felt like they severely disappointed.
They underperformed, and they still made the playoffs.
And that's the whole recency bias thing. Everyone's going to be like, oh, the Blue Jays aren't that good.
Yeah.
Bounced in the first round, barely made the playoffs. But that roster's loaded.
It is absolutely loaded. All right.
And it's all young guys that are on good contracts at the moment.
Yeah. Is there anything else from Major League Baseball you want to get to before we get into an abbreviated NHL Power Rankings? This episode will be a shorter episode, so Dubs doesn't have to suffer through listening to me yammer on and can actually get healthy. But we wanted to keep it consistent, make sure we were still showing up and doing the deed.
Absolutely. Got to get something out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eduardo Rodriguez probably going to return to Boston tomorrow. That'd be fun. We need pitching. I don't want to pay him much, but
you're going to, and it's not going to be great.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into NHL Power Rankings, brought to you by no one because we don't have any sponsors yet. This will be the last week that we don't have an intro theme, though. Next week we will have an Ocho intro.
I might have more equipment next week too.
So look, things are moving up, and we've talked to Jeremy, and we're going to get some things graphically infused. But For now, you get me and Dubs, and we're going to be talking, and this is what you get. So, welcome.
You got 45% of me tonight, but we're here. We're in attendance.
So,
Best abilities, availability, armchair.
The Sharks, Hawks, Jackets, Kraken, Sens, Wild.
Yes.
That's kind of our bottom. The only one that I would say
really
look out.
there.
The only one that I would say look out for there is the Minnesota Wild are surging right now.
Correct. They've won
The
3 in a row or 4 in a row.
Yeah, the Kraken are falling a little bit. They lost to Montreal bad, and that you should not lose to Montreal that bad.
No.
Wild are on a bit of a tear right now, but they're still so far out of the mix that it's not even a concern.
The Sharks accidentally won a couple games this week too. They didn't mean to.
Yeah, they didn't mean to. What's up, Welch?
Jonathan
Welch. Showing up, showing out for the House of Reprehensibles. We appreciate you dropping that like, sharing it out, doing all the fun things. At 26, we have the Ducks who dropped 2. Canadians at 25, up 3. Buffalo in a free fall, down 6 to 24. The Islanders up 2 to 23, and the Flames down 2 to 22. Buffalo is the big story here. Montreal is going to be in this range. They're going to be as high as 20 and as low as 27. That's where they're going to be. So expect them to be kind of one of those roller coaster teams. The Islanders should be better. And I think we've talked about this. Talent-wise, they should be better. They're just not there.
They should be, and they lose a lot of close games. So I could see them turning around a little bit. Nothing about them excites me at all.
Calgary offloaded Zadorov finally.
Sure did. And I should have fucking known last show that it was going to be the Canucks because they had the Beauvillier move. We were like, oh, I wonder what the Canucks are doing. And you even mentioned something about Zadorov, and we just didn't put the pieces together. But they were there. The clues were there.
Yeah, my favorite part about that is the Toronto Maple Leaf fans who are all in shambles, wondering what happened to their prized trade chip that was absolutely coming to Toronto. So, if a Leaf fan ever tells you that a trade's happening to their city, just remember they're lying. They're lying. Oilers standing pat at 21st, Preds at 20, Blues up 3 spots to 19. Tampa
they just
down
keep finding
5.
ways to win.
Tampa down 5 in free fall to 18. The Pens sitting at 17, and the Flyers down 1 at 16.
Kucherov just broke a record, though. Most games in a row with an assist. I think it was 11.
That team is still crazy. Like, they're still
talented. They're still loaded. They're just
older and slower, and they'll likely find a way to sneak into the playoffs. And then
I saw somebody talking about this week. Could you see them offloading Stamkos if they still aren't performing up to what they think they should be?
Maybe. I feel like Stamkos had the opportunity to go to Toronto and be the hometown kid that they wanted to bring in. And I remember the deals they were offering him were like stupid, and he still said no. He signed with Tampa. He still stayed in Tampa. I think that Stammer's going to stay in Tampa forever. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. I don't think so. I think you're more likely to see them offload some of their mid-tier talent versus the like upper end stuff. Another house member, Kelvin Joyner, jumping in. What's up, Joyner? Appreciate you jumping in, man. They'll do something. The Capitals sitting at 15, right in the middle. Ovi's still doing Ovi things, but we got to get them. You got to get rolling. That team is down 1. I got to stop at 14 for a second. The hell is going on at the University of Arizona?
The Arizona Coyotes
up 9 spots this week.
University of Phoenix online.
Yeah, up 9 spots, beating all of the Cup champions.
They're doing the opposite. Yeah, 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking killing it. They're doing the opposite of Buffalo and Anaheim, where they're actually surging. But the Ducks I wanted to bring up when we skip by them. My brain is fucking fried right now. The Ducks just keep losing. That first power ranking we did, I had them super high because they had won like 6 or 7 in a row or some shit. And now I don't know if they've won a game since. They've looked.
The Ducks have been terrible. Yeah,
they should probably be lower. I probably should have switched them with the Wild, but I want them to be good, and I don't like the Wild, so maybe a little personal bias there. But fuck it, it's my show.
Noted Caps fan, Steven Tass says struggle is real. We understand and appreciate that.
We sure do.
The Devils up 3 to 13. I mean, they're playing well again.
They owe me $50 because they fucked me over last night. Also, and this is completely unrelated. Fuck LeBron and fuck that ref that also cost me $50 last night because that Sun shit was bullshit. Dude gets the ball knocked away. LeBron just like blocking the ref so he can't see, so he can call fucking timeout. Oh, whatever. Bullshit. But yeah, shout out Coyotes. They've been killing it.
Coyotes killing it. Devils playing well. The Canes down 3 spots to 12. This team is a playoff team, but they're in a little bit of a struggle bus right now.
Yeah, they should be better than they are. They should be a top team in the NHL talent wise. If you look at them statistically too, they rank high in a ton of shit. It's just not resulting in wins, and you got to look towards.
They need to fix the goaltending, and they need
to exactly. That's exactly what I was just going to say.
They need to fix. That's what they need to fix. They'll be fine otherwise.
They're in the same situation as the Devils.
Yeah. Let's get into our. I guess we'll call it a top 11. We got another house member dropping in. What's up, Doyle? Shout out Evan Doyle. Leafs at 11. They don't inspire a lot, but
no, this is where they've been every time. 10 and 11.
They find ways to win, but they also find ways to lose. They find ways to go to shootouts with San Jose or like the dregs of the league. And I don't understand how they're not better. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
They have the least amount of regulation wins in the entire league.
Top team, guys. Top team.
They number win 10. Ugly every week. How many times do you have to win ugly before you're just like, it's kind of.
They need to make a change, and they got to figure out what it is. I wouldn't have brought back Sheldon Keefe this year, but whatever. Do what you do, MLSE. You're gonna wreck that team forever. So. Dub's second favorite team, the Florida Panthers, down 4 to number 10.
Yeah, I wish they could be lower.
They just
keep winning games. Yeah,
too good.
They're winning right now too. They're beating the shit out of the Stars, who I really like. So,
a surging team, the Detroit Red Wings, up 3. And the Wings are one of those teams that have a lot of like young and up and coming talent, but they are also peppered with some vets. Wings are playing well.
Yeah, and they just had a span, it was like 6 games or some shit where they had 4+ goals, and that was before they got Patrick Kane, who again I'm not super sold on coming in and making a huge impact off the rip, but it's still another name and another dude to put pucks in the net. But the Red Wings are really good. I think they beat the shit out of the Bruins twice too, so I can't really talk any amount of shit towards the Red Wings. They scare me a little bit.
They're playing well, and they're in the right spot after American Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving as you call it. The Canucks at 8.
Yeah, they had a bad week.
They're still a really good team.
Exactly. And I was looking through Power Rankings earlier today, and I saw one guy had them as low as 19. I was like, that's absurd. But regardless,
the week only Power Rankings, maybe like these are the best teams this week only, but yikes.
And Quinn lost the Hughes Bowl, which is again tough for me and my wallet, but I digress. The Canucks are really good, and as long as Demko keeps playing the way he has, and we don't see
like
what we saw last year, the year before, where there's always kind of a drop off halfway through the year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be great. And obviously, they just added Zadorov. They'll be right with Vegas and Dallas and
they're huge.
Colorado.
They're going to be a top 7 or 8 team. They're going to be one of the teams competing for the Cup, I would say. Probably a top 4 team in the West.
JT Miller. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They got him for like nothing, too. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then when we were involved with trade rumors last year, I was like, I don't want him.
Yeah, that's a mistake. You should have absolutely wanted him and
that one.
Did everything. That's a big miss, yeah. The Jets, the good Jets, like the only good Jets, up 3 spots to number 7. Winnipeg's playing well, but this is what happens when Connor Hellebuck is on a rip. When your goaltender,
you want to start games for
the goaltender is the most important position in hockey, and when your goaltender is hot and you're playing well in front of him, you win games. And that's what's happening here. You're seeing Connor Hellebuck is on a rip. You're seeing the rest of the team rally around that, and they're getting the wins they need. Up 7 or up 3, 2-7. Stars down 2 to number 6.
And again, another bad week by a good team, kind of in the same situation as the Canucks. They have 5 losses in their past 8. So got to knock them a little bit, but they got to get the scoring back up. It got going at the start of the season, then it fell off. Now they need to start scoring again because Otter can only do so much. He's getting bullied by fucking Matt Kachuk right now.
Your top 5 brought to you by the House of Reprehensibles, who showed up in droves tonight. We appreciate you all.
Shout out.
Check out the Sportsocracy if you're not familiar, but I'm pretty sure everybody here is familiar. The Golden Knights at number 5, up 2 spots from 7 last week.
So they were
the real deal.
They were also in a bit of a free fall. They just had a slow November, and then they started putting wins together at the back end. But they started out so hot that it didn't really matter. I don't think they ever lost first place in their division in that time. So they're obviously a wagon. They're gonna. I forgot to mention them when I was just listing off Western Conference contenders, but they're obviously in there too. And like I said, they starting to hit their stride again. So on the come up in the power rankings, top 5 appearance.
I mean, they're still first place. They've played 26 games versus some other teams who only have 22, but they're playing well, and it's hard to argue against. They're as solid as solid gets. Really well coached, really well run. The Avalanche at number 4, down 1 spot, but they're still all right. Colorado's going to be there until proven otherwise. What are you supposed to do with that? They're Stanley Cup final.
They're not playing. They're still in the top 5. And they're not playing anywhere near their ability. They have some bad injuries right now.
Yeah,
they'll get right.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that the Avs will play well.
They're another team like Carolina that always gets hit with injuries, especially down the stretch.
And it didn't impact them a couple of years ago. It didn't impact them when they went on their run. They were able to get the best out of everybody, and they won because of it. They dented the cup. They injured the cup. That's hilarious. Number 3, down 2 spots from our number 1 spot, the New York Rangers. The bread man took a couple of days off.
Yeah, he sure did. They got blown out 5-1, then 6-1.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
1 to the Senators.
Yeah. They didn't have a great. Yeah, they lost 6-2 to the Senators.
Yeah, can't do that.
Big yikes.
Can't do that. Shesterkin was playing that one too. That wasn't even quick.
That's not good. The number 2 spot, your Bruins, up 2 from the 4.
Yeah, bounce back. We had an 0-3 week last week, and then an 3-0 week this week. Showing resiliency. We've only allowed 4 goals in the last 4 games, 5 in the last 4, something like that. We're back on track. So we're claiming a top 5 spot.
And the number 1 team this week in our power rankings is, and I asked this question, I just want to let you know, I asked this question on Facebook, on the Armchair Commentary Facebook page. I shared it out from my personal, and someone said the Kings, and I laughed out loud because there is no way in hell that someone outside of us would have had the Kings as the 1. But here he was. He goes, LA is number 1. And I said, nuts. You got it. So, yes, the Kings, number 1 on the power rankings this week. They're hot.
They allow barely over 2 goals a game. They're still undefeated on the road. They've been dominant. And they're another team that's just way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it's they're
Talbot's been an absolute nightmare. Like, he's so fucking good right now. Signing a 36-year-old goalie is not usually that's not a winning move, but it's proven to be. So
some way, somehow, it's been incredible. That's our power rankings for the night. I want to touch on game of the week here. Again, we're trying to keep it a short episode tonight. Dubs is hanging on by a thread, and we don't want it to go crazy, go nuts. He's barely surviving here, but we wanted to get something on. Yeah, he is down. He needs to go to bed. Patrick Kane's making his debut Thursday, by the way, against the Sharks, which is LOL. Like, get your Sharks bets in now. I imagine that's going to go well. Game of the week, I think, is actually I just saw it here a second ago. Winnipeg and Colorado. When is that? Saturday?
Yeah, that's a solid one.
And the reason I picked that is pretty obvious. I think that two of the best teams, and it's tomorrow. It's December 7th, tomorrow night. Winnipeg and Colorado. That's my game of the week pick. Hellebuck versus Georgiev, two of the top contenders in the West, fighting it out. There's not a ton of like banger games. There's a lot of your
I got
standard
Stars
stuff.
Knights on Saturday.
Stars and Knights. You're playing the Coyotes. You better watch out. You got to watch out. Coyotes are coming.
We're at the Garden though, so we'll be all right.
I don't know.
They're vicious at that fucking University of Phoenix arena.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the University of Phoenix online arena. So that's our game of the week. Let's get a last call in here so that we can get Dub some sleep. This is the shortest episode of the Ocho we ever done. We're normally half hour longer, just so you know how the Ocho normally goes. We
First
normally
two in an hour.
We normally go over every team in the power rankings, and we just chunked a bunch together tonight so that we can get him out of here.
Not on a stretcher.
Next week we will be live with our new theme music.
Yes, I should have a new computer by then.
Dubs will be in the new
and a new fucking webcam because this thing just works when it wants to. I think it might be possessed. I got a poltergeist in the house.
It's exciting. I want to give.
I got a question, Armchair.
We got a question. We get a
Stephen
question.
Town.
Oh, okay. Hold on. This is we did talk about this in the lead a little bit. I think it's a wise choice. It's 13 million is a lot of money, but
for a patch job.
But Kimbrel's like he's a known commodity. It does look like there's $1 million buyout according to Joel Sherman. So I feel like if you're gonna pay for a guy to like fill in that spot, you want to go with someone reliable. And I think Kimbrel's an easy answer to that. And it didn't cost you everything. $1 million buyout's not that bad. 13 million stuff. So, look,
they still got Cano too.
Look at this. Look at this.
Wow, for baseball.
Godfather.
Hockey, huh?
The Godfather shows up at of course, you're home on a Wednesday, and you pick like the worst episode to jump on.
You picked the one where I'm about to have to go to the hospital midway through
because Dubs is under the weather big time. It's his flu game. And
I took a nap earlier, and I never take naps. So if I'm napping, there's an issue. I woke up feeling so much worse than when I went to sleep. I should have just stayed up.
Yeah. It is no bueno. Stephen Taft says he just has to be good enough. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that your bigger concern has to be right now that the rest of the AL East is shoring up for what is looking like the war of the century. This all depends on what happens with Ohtani.
Right.
If Ohtani goes AL East, then it's no
the
good.
Red Sox will be sitting there watching it unfold from last place.
Well, yeah, you'd probably be in the basement. It's probably a good year to take a year off. So Welch coming through in the clutch here.
So was last year and the year before that.
Hey, cool Sweet. Kids only equals the Ocho.
Of course.
You know, is what it is.
I have a sign over there. You just can't see it.
Yeah. I want to give a quick minor shout out to Canadian soccer legend Christine Sinclair. Played her last game ever. She put Canadian soccer back on the map. She encouraged kids to start playing soccer again, which led to Canada's men's team actually being relevant for the first time in 100 years. Not 100, since 1983 or 84. So she played her last game. It was in Vancouver. It was a friendly against Australia. And, you know, this is the Ocho. We talk about everything but what they talk about. And I just wanted to give her a quick little parting shout for our last call. Next week we will be back. Dubs will be
Yes.
marginally healthy, maybe better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I probably will be. I don't know.
There's a
This
good
may
chance he
take
will be
me.
healthier.
I may be
I
claimed
hope
by
I hope not.
somebody, a higher power.
For Dubs, I'm Armchair. Thank you so much for jumping into this quick one. We'll be back next week live
Full
at
force.
8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got baseball, hockey, soccer, WWE, AEW, UFC questions, get them in. Oh, we missed the biggest one of all, and
To me.
we'll leave that for next week because I don't want to. Unless you got it in you. What do you got?
What do we got? What is it?
Does Trevor Bauer belong in the in the majors? Is he going to get a shot?
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
This is why the Ocho is the Ocho. Fuck that guy.
Spider tack and allegations. That's the Trevor Bauer way.
Trevor Bauer is unfortunately poisoned any locker room he comes into contact with. So even if he pitched marginally good, it's just not worth it. So it's just not worth it. I just wanted to get that in there. Stacy Tuberville, one of the members of the House, asked it, or one of the members of the Sportsocracy asked the question on the main show today. So wanted to make sure we covered it.
Absolutely.
So they can come find it on the Ocho. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure to share it out with your friends. We'll be back next week, full force. For Dubs, I am Armchair. Thank you so much. Peace.